JB here. December 26th, 2023. There's about 30 minutes left in the trading session, 3 more days after that, and then it's 2024. Not much going on today. I was, obviously, if some of you who are following or participating, the 2K challenge is starting today. Unless I saw something that really jumped out, I was probably going to be in wait and see mode. This morning, ALT, which is a name at the end of November, kind of came to, I think it was $2, $3. They had some positive phase 2 data. They're a GLP-1 early stage company focused on GLP-1, dual agnostic, similar to VKTX. So positive data, great data. So the stock soared. I think it went up to $6. I was looking at the calls a couple days after, then it went to 7 and then sold off, and then I kind of took it off my radar. But now the hype train is only going to get bigger as we head into 2024. It's typically you start getting these New Year's resolution plays, and the weight loss sector typically is the first one that comes to mind. Folks who are looking to lose weight will usually be the gyms. So back in the day, I used to be bullish on a company called MindBody, who has pretty much a platform for gyms and beauty salons and things like that, and that stock used to take off. That company was acquired. It was one of my top 5 stocks. So you take a look at ALT. It's only a maybe $500 million market capitalization. It sports a decent short interest, which is kind of surprising, as still kind of I'm just trying to get the chart up here. So I was just looking this morning, and I'm thinking in my head, even if it's gets to $1 billion, you're talking a $20 stock, and it's kind of, I wouldn't call VKTX's baby brother, because VKTX has a bigger pipeline, but certainly interesting. And then you see this morning there were 2 biotech acquisitions, and you look at the biotech sector as a whole, and it seems to be underperforming this year. And it's one of these years it's going to be the year for the biotech. So I don't know if that's a precursor to these buyouts to start the week. But you have to think, if some of these companies who are behind the curve for GLP-1, they're seeing LLY and NVO, their market capitalization going bonkers over the last year and a half. You would think if you're a publicly traded company, it's in your best interest for your shareholders to make sure you have some kind of position to take advantage of that craze, right? Some kind of either early stage trials, you have some kind of drug in the works, or you go out and you got to do some acquisitions. So that's kind of the thought process there. I was thinking $15. It's probably gonna be volatile. So if tomorrow could be back into the 9s. I'm not going to sit here and think it's just going to go straight to 15. But I think as it catches more radars, it goes up 11, 12%. That's actually 17% today. More people start looking at it like I did, say, wow, this probably is going to continue to get some more folks in it. It's going to go higher. So I'll continue. I'll hold those. They were up. What were they, 80? I didn't even look at the last tick on there. 85 by 90. What I got them at 70, right? So, anyway, so that's that. That's why I entered ALT, and it's speculative. So I would like to have a high conviction on the name. It's going to be volatile. It could have went back into the 8s today, even though I still think it's going to head higher longer term. So that's kind of why it's more of a speculative trade. So hopefully speculative trade, high risk, high reward. So maybe it goes to 15 this week, right? I can't rule that out. Maybe there's some kind of buyout rumors. So that's the thought process there. So that's ALT. SSYS, some news over the weekend. Here we go. It's like deja vu all over again. You have NNDM doing a buyout offer for SSYS, $16.50, and that's all cash. So these shenanigans went on earlier this year with the stock. I think it was like 13 or 14 or $15. It went all the way up into the mid-20s as you had NNDM, then you had DDD making some offers for SSYS. Worst case scenario here, it just keeps it bid well. I thought it was going to go to 15 regardless of any of this buyout rumors, what have you. But now probably heads higher. So similar to ALT, it's going to be volatile. You look today, there's more put volume than call volume. SSYS, it's almost like maybe folks are going to come in and try and pressure it. I don't know. I didn't want to be in a situation where I lose the profits on my January strikes, so I locked those in for 700%, whatever that was. And then I locked some of the March strikes in just so I can sleep at night, ride free, and then I'll just hold on for longer. I'm probably not going to add anything unless there's any other catalyst. NNDM did say in their buyout offer, the release, that they have the ability to raise the offer price based on due diligence. I don't know if that means SSYS opens their books. I don't know what that looks like. SSYS also has a poison pill, so or they have some wording that I guess it's in Israeli law that because NNDM already owns some shares and they just want to buy the rest, and they're not allowed to hit a certain threshold. So I don't know what that looks like, but I mean, considering where the stock was, it's a good catalyst for it. So that was SSYS. Let's see what we have. Sorry about that, folks. Redfin over $10. Hopefully it holds. I think it hit 1030 on Friday. Gave most of it back. I think that heads over into the 15s at the start of 2024. Rates continue to decrease. Supply starts to come online. People start looking for opportunities to, to go shopping. And not only is it going to traffic the Redfin site, but then they have real estate agents. They can do transactions, things like that. So I think that just bodes well. They call it the poor man's Zillow, I guess. But Zillow trades at a much higher premium. So if it is the poor man's Zillow, then Redfin should trade at a lesser premium. But I still think there's opportunity for upside. Exact Science right here at $76. The 200-day moving average on EXAS was it just broke it. So let's see. I didn't even have it on here. And even the weekly looks good at EXAS. Yeah, 75.34. So last time was over the 200-day moving average was in September. So great sign here. Exact Science is one of my top 5 stocks for this year. I think it's up 35 or 40% for the year. I think it bodes, the break over the 200-day moving average bodes well for more highs. It probably hits 80 by the end of the week. I'll look to lock some of my January strikes in. Redfin, Exact Science. Biogen, what a tease on Friday, right? So you're sitting on the 260s all week, and then it gets bounced around. It trades in an extremely tight range, and then Friday it goes all the way up to like 258 and just stays there. And then this morning I'm watching it was gapping up again over 260. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, but that comes with the territory. Biogen, Gilead, I was looking at those two, but I'll probably just sit on my hands as I look to scale out of some of my stuff. Spotify had that upgrade last week. The lotto or speculative calls I had on that name didn't pan out. At some point, that's going to get legs again. I'll probably just sit in my hands. And then the other one was Roku. And I always look at Roku, but it's recent sell-off after 2 downgrades. I think it hit 92. And of course, I missed it today as I was watching alts. Did it hit 92? That's another one. At some point, that's going to really reverse. Almost looks like a potential bull flag if it has another green day or two. And considering it came from $60, 60 to 100 is 40. You divide that in 2. You're saying you think it's possibly it could head to 115, 120 in a flash if it starts gaining some momentum. So those are names I'll be watching this week. This is, I guess, I read it somewhere. It's the first week there's no earnings at the last week of the year ever, something like that. So if you look at earnings, there's no earnings this week. There's no catalyst really. This is traditionally a low volume week to begin with, and then you have all the analysts who typically there's a slew of upgrades and downgrades. They're pretty much away, so there's not going to be a lot of analyst changes that are going to be some kind of catalyst for stocks. So it's almost for me, number one is it's tough to trade because you need. Hopefully, if we continue to head higher, it's great. But if we don't, we might just chop around here. But on the flip side, I think some of these names I've been calling them catch-up names, I think those are going to just continue to do well. The momentum's there. The lack of volume, I don't think, is going to hurt it much, and I think they'll just continue heading higher. So, Redfin, Exact Science is not a catch-up play, but I think that could just continue to melt higher. And that's it. I'm trying to think of some of the other names I was looking at. Look at you. Some of these that have come way off the highs. Lending Tree, what a crazy move over the last couple of weeks for that one. That's a name I used to follow back in the day. It used to be $400 or maybe even higher. Then they had issues, and then you have competitive concerns. So that landscape, you have Lending Club, you have SoFi, Affirm, like all these third-party lenders, and Lending Tree was kind of the original gangster, the OG, right? The first one to really do it. Stock all the way down to $10, and since November, it's from 10. It's now sitting at 30. So again, a lot of that has to do with the lower rates, right? So people who have maybe they have a loan out that they want to refinance, or they have some debt that they want to get all lopped together and find a low rate loan. That's right in LendingTree's wheelhouse. So it kind of makes sense, and it's pretty remarkable how the market's so good at figuring that out, because right before the Fed dovish spin started happening, Tree was already running. So, and then the Fed confirmed their dovish spin when Powell made the comments in the Fed statement. And the fact that they went from pretty much higher for longer to, oh, we're going to do 3 rate cuts next year, and market's pricing a heck of a lot more than that. So that's that. Last, and I'll probably I'll have a little post for anybody who's doing the 2K challenge. I'm hopefully there'll be a trade tomorrow. Maybe there might be 5 trades tomorrow. There might be no trades tomorrow and no trades and a trade on Thursday. I'm not here just to make trades. I'm here to find high conviction trades that I hopefully can find where small amount turns into a lot. And then, like I said, if you aren't following the 2K challenge, I'll still post a trade, but it might be a different strike or things like that, just to help with the liquidity. And I hope nobody tries to take advantage. I've said this before, and the reason a couple of years ago, back when COVID, there was no spec trade channel, because I would just post everything in the top picks room, and UPB would post, and then the COVID time, things started going crazy, and they used to call it the JB effect, because I would go and add a strike, and within 2 minutes, the bid and ask would be up 50% or what have you, and the underlying stock wouldn't have moved much. But sometimes if it's a low liquid stock, sometimes you see the stock actually move too. So when someone tries to follow a trade, and I got in at 50 cents, and all of a sudden the ask is at 75 cents, but the stock hasn't moved, and someone gets it at 75 instead of 50, the risk reward is totally different. So it just makes it very, very tough. So that's why I made the spec trade channel. So I feel a little better about posting, so people understand, hey, it's very speculative trade, blah, 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 blah. So that's why that exists. I think that's it. Why does it say chillin' TBH next to my name? Does that mean because I'm in audio? Yeah, anyway, it says next to my name in Discord. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday Weekend, whatever you did, whatever you celebrate. And then there's another extended weekend next week. So we'll have 4 trading. Well, now we have 3 trading days after today, and then 4 next week. I'm still working on my top 5 stocks for 2024 webinar. So hopefully I'll have that out. It'll be out by Monday. I'm going to try to have it out by the weekend, but it takes some time. And it's tough doing the top 5 stock webinars when markets have been on a tear. I mean, the S&P is at all-time highs, or I don't know if it hit it. I believe it did. Dow's at all-time highs, and some of these stocks are up an insane amount. And I don't know if you saw my tweet over the weekend. I posted some of the performers for this year. And let's see, who was it? NVIDIA. Yeah, so Coin up 400%, NVIDIA 234%, Roku up 124%, Shopify up 121%. The list goes on and on. So it's very hard to say and look at a name like NVIDIA and say, wow, NVIDIA is going to go up another 40% because of where it's coming, and especially considering it's a $1 trillion company. But makes it a little more difficult to find some names, because the names I look for are undervalued. Well, in my eyes, I feel are undervalued, and I think can rally over 35%. Unless I'm doing puts, then it's the other way around. But it's kind of unbelievable to think some of these names, like Apple's up 50% this year, and it's like, how is you talking 500 billion, whatever that number is for Apple's price? Where are they now? 2 trillion? It's like, how did the market misprice that? When I'm just looking at the market value. Obviously, it's pricing in the Fed now, before the Fed made the decisions. Let's see. Oh, so, yeah, so pretty much, it's put on over $1 trillion in market cap. So you're saying that Apple is undervalued over $1 trillion? It's like they're not doing $1 trillion more revenue. So, and I mean, Apple's just cash machine buying back. So there's a whole slew. There's no right or wrong answer here, but sometimes that just kind of blows my mind when I start looking at some of these names, saying, wow, the market, same with earnings. Sometimes when I look at a name and it's up 10%, I'm like, wow, they just gained a $50 billion in market valuation. So you're saying everybody had it wrong to that amount? Anyway, so my little rant there, but I'll hopefully it's not going to be out Friday or possibly Saturday, but probably it will definitely be out on Monday, pending any crazy stuff going on. And it's possible, if there's a name that I find that I think is a real good opportunity heading into 2024. I might add a position before the year is out. So that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone have a great day. 15 minutes to the close. Let's see. ALT, come on, get over 11. Yep, yeah, right. It's over 11. Redfin's at highs. Exact Science, 76 bucks. Oh, and even Trupanion's doing well. I keep getting tagged, so I put out that percentage increase list over the weekend, and someone from the Trupanion FUD or Trupanion Q, the bank, the people, the shorts on Trupanion, they tag me. And they say, oh, Trupanion's down 31% this year. Well, that's great. I didn't get Trupanion at the start of the year. So and why are you tagging me? What does that have to do for any kind of... It's just they want to... So I block them, and then I take them out of the conversation. Of course, they take a screenshot that I blocked them. Well, that's great. That's why sometimes it's best just to mute people, but it distracts me sometimes. So I'd rather just not be distracted anymore. So if there's a situation where I think I'll have a conversation with somebody, but when it comes to almost like mocking situation, I usually try to just block, because then it's just wasted time, energy, and effort. Oh, that's it. Whoa, that's a nice bottle there. Nice there, Doc. Oh, very nice. Send some over. All right there, folks. Have a great day. I'll be on the audio tomorrow at some point. Rock and roll.